I've spent every available minute this weekend playing ARC Raiders, but I already can't wait to play more. The problem is that this was just an advanced playtest for this groundbreaking cross-platform extraction shooter, and the window to play this game has closed. For now at least, anyway. So if you missed your chance to take part, let me tell you about this game so that you're ready for it when it arrives later this year. ARC Raiders stands out in so many ways, but one of the most noteworthy is the sense of immersion. The music and sound effects, the ambient noises absorb you into the game better than anything else I've seen since Battlefield 1. Every time I stepped foot into the Rust Belt, it felt like I was stepping out into a real world where my future survival hinged on not just my own actions, but on the events unfolding around me in real time. Choices have consequences, starting from the moment you prepare your equipment to take with you, during a raid, deciding when to get involved and when to remain hidden, when to search that last area for another precious find, or take what you've got and attempt to extract safely. Hang on, I hear you say. You're starting to tell us why you love the game, but what the heck is it? Okay, fair enough, I'll back it up a sec. In ARC Raiders, you live in a world that has suffered some sort of apocalyptic event, where humans have been forced to live under the surface in the sprawling neighbourhood of Speranza. While above ground, the Rust Belt is controlled by mysterious robot entities called the ARC. As a raider, your purpose is to explore the different areas on the surface, scavenging for rare materials. The idea being that you use these materials to upgrade your various crafting stations underground and produce better weapons and equipment. This will help you as you explore increasingly dangerous environments on the surface in search of more and more exotic loot. From the humble beginnings of looting quiet, low-risk areas for basic items supported by your scrap-gathering chicken, yes, you heard that right, you strive to become the most powerful ARC Raider roaming the Rust Belt. Although technically a trios extraction shooter, this plays like a horror survival game in a lot of ways. And during the playtest, I mostly played solo, where the stakes are highest. One moment you think you're being clever, stalking one of the weaker solitary ARC machines, only soon to discover that the longer you make noise, the more attention you gather. And trust me, no kind of attention in the Rust Belt is good attention. You quickly find yourself getting swarmed by increasingly powerful ARC attempting to support each other as one hive mind. Or worse, you'll attract any one of the dozens of other raiders that have just as painstakingly developed their loadouts for surviving on the surface. The game supports crossplay across PC and console, as well as prox chat, so when you encounter these human raiders, it is down to each of you how to tackle the encounter. Do you come in peace? Or do you choose violence? You can make yourself known, then offer to team up, or agree to go your separate ways. Or do you attempt to brutally ambush your counterpart and then take their loot from them as they lay helpless and unconscious?
Hello? Hello? No, 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 no. No, no, no.
As a noob, I found that often this choice was made before I even had a say in it, but this was part of what was driving me on. Coming from the fast pace and single-mindedness of destroy everything in front of you in Call of Duty, I was quickly getting addicted to the slower pace and the freedom of choice. I was just scratching the surface with the crafting and how all the materials function. What items can be recycled down further and further to base materials to reach your improvement goals. As you explore, complete quests for the various traders and level up your character, how do you want to invest your skill points in your skill tree to suit your playstyle? Do you want to increase your agility for manoeuvring through dangerous encounters, or do you increase your stealth and looting speed to get in and out unseen? Or better still, do you mix a combination of the two to become the ultimate wasteland ninja? The movement and weapons have weight, and you feel connected to the gunplay in the third-person perspective encounters. But there are no fast-shooting, recoilless laser beams with 100-round mags. No, weapons are inaccurate if fired quickly, and you will also run out of bullets faster than you can say, "Don't shoot, I'm unarmed." You have to select your weapons carefully, as they all suit different circumstances. What is good for attempting to dodge close-range encounters against human players might not even scratch the surface of the armour on some of the ARC machines. The lowest tier weapons can be crafted cheaply, or you can even get one for free if you choose to deploy with a free basic randomised loadout, but these do have limitations. I was just getting into understanding which weapons I like the most and what was the most cost-effective way to upgrade them with your scarce resources. For example, I found that just crafting and fitting an extended mag can make a world of difference in a PvP gunfight with a base level SMG. It's the difference between casually finishing off your enemies as they struggle to reload and being the one getting in a cold sweat as you fumble to switch weapons knowing the enemy is chasing you down about to take all of your hard-earned loot. While I found friendlies hard to come by, those wanting to take my stuff were plentiful. If you get knocked out on the surface, as a solo at least, you are almost certainly done for. One encounter in a riskier spaceport area stood out to me. I narrowly escaped death from the ARC and was attempting to gather my rewards, when, as is often the case, I was obliterated, seemingly out of nowhere by a third party.
What's up, bro?
Hello.
You have a mic?
Yeah.
Let me try something.
But this seasoned player clearly took sympathy on me.
If it works. Oh, bro, you can revive with that thing.
The defib, yeah.
I didn't know that, bro.
What do you want, buddy? Let me give you some tax.
Nah, cool. You want something? Take this.
Okay,
It's like
cheers, man.
down.
Cheers, buddy.
Not only did they revive me, but they gave me some treasure and a handy tip from their own experience that would better prepare me for future battles.
Yo, and advice. Do you bring extra shields with you to swap mid-fight?
No, just have the repair.
Yeah, I'm bringing like a medium shield on me, and then one extra green shield. So if someone cracks you,
Yeah.
you can swap mid-fight. It's really
Okay,
useful.
that's smart. That's smart.
Yeah. Yo, cheers, mate.
Cheers, buddy. Good luck.
Much appreciated, kind sir. What a gentleman. Fans of Escape from Tarkov or Call of Duty DMZ will say this is part of what attracts them to extraction shooters. And as a Warzone player, this kind of encounter was fairly new to me, but it was only helping me better understand why people play these games. I've been singing its praises, and rightly so, because ARC Raiders is absolutely brimming with promise. But I've been around the block long enough to understand the potential flaws in games, and ARC Raiders can't rest on its laurels. The rate at which players level their characters, weapons and equipment is slow, meaning it's great for adding to the feeling of value and achievement. But that also means that devs will need to carefully manage how newer or more casual players to the game encounter the veterans without it being a horrific experience every single time. Without introducing manipulative skill-based matchmaking, I think they will be able to manage it by ranging the loot rarity in certain zones, essentially meaning players will select modes most suited to their level. They can also potentially introduce season wipes where everyone has a kind of forced prestige system. You'll periodically lose certain elements of progress to reset the playing field. I'm sure there are loads of ways the game developer, Embark Studios, can manage this stuff, but they will need to do so. Another simpler and more universal problem, but also one that's potentially much more difficult to achieve, will be to ensure the game is relatively free from cheaters. We've recently seen the return of Verdansk rejuvenate the fortunes of Warzone, only for a matter of weeks later the cheaters to all crawl out of the woodwork and ruin the improvements made to the game. One potential advantage of this not being free to play may be that it makes cheating harder to repeat. It's one thing cheating in a game you can make a fresh account on every time you get banned, but if a dirty cheater has to fork out $40, they are much less likely to repeat offend. You're certainly not going to get the bored 13-year-old shelling out that kind of cash willy-nilly. There's a battle pass and a couple of different currency types, but in the playlist none of this featured too much in the gaming experience. Had I had the chance to play more, I might have had more interest in progressing through a battle pass and obtaining better cosmetics beyond some of the free ones, but the point here is that the focus of this game is the gamer's experience. It's not some disguised storefront designed as a way of squeezing as much cash out of you as possible. Having been burnt by seemingly promising games at the development stage before, Modern Warfare 2, we must acknowledge that anything in its current state can change. But I'll tell you now, if this game launched tomorrow like this, for the planned $40 price, I couldn't get my wallet out quick enough. Before we wrap things up, I just want to loop back briefly to something I talked about at the very start of the video. The immersion. The scenery, the detail and lighting, and the art style are all gorgeous. And even better, it's optimised brilliantly so that the game runs smoothly even at high settings without having to have a PC supplied by NASA. The sound design is absolutely spectacular. With a high definition soundtrack so eerie, it gets your heart pounding when you're all on your own, not even doing anything particularly risky. Then throw in the ambient sound effects to complete this masterpiece. The rain splashing on the surfaces around you makes you want to close your eyes with this lifelike Spotify relaxation mixtape. Only there's no relaxing in this game. You'll be momentarily swept away, enjoying your surroundings, but then, gunshots in the background immediately have your survival instincts tingling. Their volume is scaled perfectly for distance and is accurately affected by the objects in the way. I felt so sucked into this game, I loved it. And after just one weekend, I was making a connection with this world that I was genuinely sad to see go. And while I've tried keeping this video short and sweet as it was only a playtest, I will get deeper into the world of ARC Raiders when it releases later this year. And I can't wait. Let me know your thoughts on ARC Raiders. Is it something you're interested in playing? Even if it's not your sort of thing, I hope you still enjoy the video as much as I enjoyed making it. But for now, I'm out.